Hello, welcome everybody to Diabetes Bytes today. And we have with us Chef Nishant, who has a very varied career, has more than 20 years of experience. He has worked in Dubai and also in many other international places like Spain and Bangkok. He has won the gold medal of Ahar Delhi based this thing. And he's also done pop-ups in Japan, Canada, South Africa, Kenya, Spain with Indian cuisine. And his latest project is Tokyo Mithahi Wala, a passion project which has created unique sensation across the world. And Nishant loves actually experimenting with different recipes. While Nishant comes again, we welcome Nishant. I would like to introduce the rest of the next is Shilpa. She is a very well-known, renowned dietitian from Mumbai, and she is from Mumbai Diet and Health Center, a very smiling, laughing, and very knowledgeable dietitian. Next is Meenakshi. She's a dietitian and clinical nutrition faculty at the Tamil Nadu Government Multi Super Speciality Hospital and Madras Medical College, Chennai. She was my student, and we have had fun times together. I am learning a lot from her today. That is to say, in a nutshell, what Meenakshi is. Over to Kavita. Kavita is a very elegant and very beautiful dietitian from Nagpur, and she's a clinical at Sunil Diabetes Care and Research Center in Nagpur. She and Dr. Sunil are rocking the world with lot of hello talks on diabetes. So over to you, Nishant, for the next 10 minutes to show us whatever recipes you have related to diabetes. Thank you, Nishant.
Hi, Dr. Dharini. Thank you very much for your kind introduction. This is Chef Nishant here. And I have been cooking around the world actually in different platforms with Spain, Canada, US, and India, different parts of India. And I happen to learn a lot of stuff from different doctors who actually specialize on diabetes because I believe this is an ailment which is so much. I can see so many people, suffering from this particular disease. But coming back to food, so I thought I'll just quickly spin, a thing for all of you. I'm going to make a khichdi. I think khichdi is the national dish of India, and I think that it's quite simple, and in the same time it can be so exotic that one can do so much around it. So I picked up this beautiful, ingredient called as quinoa, and quinoa is the trend. Everyone talks about it. Although I feel that it was always used in our cooking, but we forgot about it, and now it is back in the trend, and everyone is preferring quinoa because it has got abundant amount of protein, and it is a millet, and millet is very good for people who are diabetic, if I'm not wrong, because it takes time to for sugar to break. I mean, sorry, carbohydrate to break. It takes time. It is absolutely amazing in terms of dietary regulation for anyone who's suffering from diabetes. Although I feel that there's no restriction as such. I mean, anything and everything one person can eat, but only in moderation. That's how I see the diet for people who are having diabetes. So I picked up quinoa and I have some yellow dal. Then I have garlic. I'm putting some bit of turmeric powder, some green peas, some peanuts, some red chili powder, a little bit of ghee, probably only this much of ghee. Some achar will go inside the khichdi, by the way, and some jeera. So this is my ingredient. So I'll just go to my burner and start cooking. So I'll just switch the camera on this side. Okay. I'll just use the back camera. Just give me a second. So I hope it is visible to all of you.
Yes,
Yes.
I
Nishant.
hope, yeah. So as I said, I just switched on my plane. Okay, I hope it is visible to all of you.
Yes, yes,
Very
Nishant.
much.
Go ahead.
I hope it is visible to all of you.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
Nishant, it's visible. Only thing, there's a lot of noise around. If that can be controlled, it would be wonderful.
I hope it's visible to all of you.
Yes, Nishant.
Okay, okay. So I just heated my pan, and then I'm gonna put very little of ghee, very very little ghee. And in this, I'm gonna put little bit of hing, asafoetida powder. Then I'm gonna put some garlic. Of course, if someone doesn't like garlic, he can always avoid this. Then I'm gonna put jeera. These are basically the essentials of khichdi. I'll just wait for this to get nicely tempered. I mean, I'll just wait the cumin to pop up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put dal. It's a simple yellow dal. So I've just increased the heat so that the watery part of khichdi goes off and it becomes little kind of better consistency. So I'll just wait for the water not to fully eradicate. I just want it to be semi-thick. Okay, now I'm gonna put quinoa inside. So quinoa is already boiled. So quinoa is pre-boiled. I soaked it and boiled it. And now I'm gonna put little bit of red chili powder. Gonna put little bit of red, little bit of turmeric powder. I'll put little bit more water. I hope it is visible to all of you.
Actually, your screen has frozen, Nishant.
Oh, my screen is frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Should I
Okay,
connect
you
again?
explain. Maybe you're in a kitchen because the signals may be bad. You
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
the recipe. Yeah. Go
Sure,
ahead.
sure, sure. So you know what I have done is I have taken. I'm making khichdi. Okay. So khichdi is a overcooked product. It's been cooked at every household. So you know I have taken minimalistic amount of ghee. I put hing. I put some bit of cumin seeds. Okay, very gentle, very simple in every household what they do. And then I put dal, yellow dal, which is boiled, and then I cooked it with some water, and then I have added red chili powder and turmeric powder. And then what I have done is I have added quinoa, boiled quinoa, and this is a beautiful protein a protein thing, you know. And then it has I'm gonna put a little bit of green peas also in this, so that I add a lot of fiber. So and then I'm gonna add achar in this only inside this, so that you know you get that tanginess because it is nice in this way. So I can
Thank you,
see that.
Nishant. Is that the only recipe, or do you have anything else to show? Or can Meenakshi start asking questions to you? Okay, friends, what do you think? Quinoa with khichdi, just like a grain and dal. Meenakshi, any thoughts on that recipe?
Yeah, I think Chef Nishant did a wonderful job. I think it was a twist. The total typical, I think Punjabi and North Indian khichdi changed to a tangy khichdi with quinoa. And what I would say is quinoa is a pseudo cereal. It's a very nutritious cereal, except for that it cuts your pocket, but otherwise it fills you with nutrition. So whether it is, phytonutrients, phytosterols, saponins, beta-adenines, any of them, most of them are found to have lot of health benefits. And most importantly, if I am to say, 100 grams of quinoa will give you almost 5 grams of healthy fat, 13 grams of protein, 78 grams of carbohydrate. But in that 78 grams of carbohydrate, we have a beautiful 15 grams of dietary fiber. I think that's the catch key point here, that we have solid 15 grams of dietary fiber, including both soluble and insoluble fiber. And the beauty of this dish is, worst thing is it can be gluten free. But if I think Shilpa will always agree with me that since he's added some asafoetida to it, then we may not be able to suggest it to a celiac patient or a gluten free patient. But otherwise, without the hing or the asafoetida which they have used, it's an amazing gluten free recipe and a wonderful glycemic friendly recipe. Reason why I'm saying glycemic friendly is it obviously has a lower GI and lower GL when compared to other cereals, including other millets. And another important thing is he's used peas. Peas is a beautiful, not beautiful, I would say, it's a bountiful lentil carbohydrate, which has a delayed gastric emptying, and it will provide satiety along with the protein and the fiber and the B vitamins present in it. And it's easy on the gut when we allow about a teaspoon of ghee to it. So probably the whole recipe may be between 100 and 150 calories if I'm going with an approximation of, say, one exchange of the quinoa, one exchange of dal. But only little thing is, if you're hypertensive, pull out the achar from the tangy khichdi and then sprinkle some fresh lime over it, so that it gives you that tangy flavor. And whatever little carbohydrate it has present in it will get converted into a resistant starch, which will further do a delay in the gastric emptying, and postprandial blunting of the postprandial glycemic response will be visible. And as chef very creatively showed a very simple but an innovative and tangy recipe, I think hats off to you, Chef Nishant. But I would also request Chef Nishant.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nishant, there's a lot of noise behind. Do you have another recipe or only one recipe? How is it? Nishant, we can't hear you.
I think he's put
I
himself on
think
mute.
mute. If you want to add more, health to this recipe and more satiety, probably you can chop a few beans, finely grated, some cabbage and capsicum, which will make it even a little more, satiating. So I think over to Dr. Kavita for her inputs.
Yes, again, I would like to congratulate Chef Nishant for that yummy, delicious khichdi. And I think khichdi is been the favorite dish of even the younger ones and even the elderly people. So it's really nice. And just to add more to have more satiety, I think we may add coriander leaves. We can also add curry leaves, and even a nice bowl of vegetable raita would add to the probiotics. Always we always say, khichdi with raita is always a good combination. And I think it was a well done job by Chef Nishant.
Yeah. Over to Shilpa.
So, ma'am, I think nutritionally, I have nothing else to speak. I think probably, I would also think that adding sprouts instead of just moong dal, maybe a sprouted moong or sprouted moong I think will go really well. I am not sure if chana and other things will go as well, because khichdi by definition seems to be something light and something wholesome to eat. So I would think of sprouted moong, which will add on to fiber, maybe zinc, Meenakshi's favorite nutrient. So yeah, so it will add on to zinc and protein. But there are a couple of things which I wanted to ask Chef, and do we have time for that, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Chef, there are a couple of things that I wanted to ask. This is because patients also keep asking us this question. So, what is a good indicator of recognizing good quinoa? Like Meenakshi said, it's a big dent on the pocket as far as patients are concerned, and you get them at various price ranges. It's not just one kind of quinoa that you get. So, is there an indicator? Because, see, traditionally we know how to pick up rice and wheat and jowar and bajra, but because this is a new cereal for us, we pick up whatever we see first thing in the packet. Is there? Do we just go by the cost? Expensive is more better, or is there an indicator? That's the first question. And the second question I'm asking, because I can put myself on mute later, how much time do you need to pre-soak quinoa so that cooking becomes slightly easy?
So, I actually cook quinoa if I come in. Can I come in?
Go ahead, Nishant.
Yeah,
So,
we can hear you.
the best way to cook quinoa, what I believe is that you need to just soak it for around 1 hour. Is this I feel okay? And then you should always cook quinoa by absorption method of cooking. Normally what I see is, people to put too much of water and then drain off the water. Please don't do it. I think rice cooker is the best way to cook quinoa. Okay. And because you can also put, if you look at the cooking, if it is almost 90%, that you can also throw some fiber, maybe some broccoli inside, maybe some carrot inside. So you can have a nice steamed quinoa also as a dish that is made. But if you don't have rice cooker, you can always do double quantity of water. This is what I believe. And then salt, you should put salt when you're doing quinoa. Basic apprehension that I see is people, they just put water and leave it just like that. I think you should put salt, otherwise there won't be any taste. Salt has to be there, and you have to cook with absorption method of cooking and not drain off method of cooking. That's quite important.
Just a regular pressure cooker works if you don't have a rice cooker?
Yes, absolutely. That will work. That will work wonderful. And I would say that you should put some vegetables also along with it, so that you have a wholesome dish ready to be eaten.
And you put twice the amount of water or more than that?
twice the amount. So if you have 100 gram of quinoa, then you do 200 ml of water.
Okay, sure. Thank you, chef.
Yeah,
Most
I
welcome.
think that was an amazing dish. And what other millets do you think the Indian millets can be substituted instead of quinoa for people who have budget issues?
So I think
Sir?
ragi is the most finger millet. Finger millet, finger millet. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
go
Can
ahead.
you hear? So
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
finger millet is the most finger millet is the most acceptable millet in India. Okay, the way I see it. Even South, I see a lot of people. I mean, all people make ragi mudde and all. So I think that's the most acceptable millet, and one can, use them. And then barley is also nice. Okay, finger millet is nice. Uh, so there are a whole lot of this like little millets as well. So that also you can use. But I think I picked up quinoa because I believe that quinoa is the most fashionable, trendy.
Yes.
All women love to take their picture with quinoa. Probably it is because of it is slightly more expensive. I don't know the reason, but I see people using quinoa kapoha, quinoa stir fry quinoa nasi goreng, quinoa biryani. I was in Dubai just before this. The most popular dish in one of the best restaurants was quinoa biryani. Okay. So I can see this going into different scale. That's why I picked up it. Otherwise, one can always substitute that.
Yeah, but ragi,
Uh,
you cannot use the whole
Cannot
grain,
use
can
this.
you? Or you have
No,
to
no,
use
For
ragi
this
ragi
recipe.
powder. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, ragi you have to use that powder. Yeah, yes.
Chef
And
Nishant, I had a query.
sure. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Meenakshi.
Yeah, I had a query as to when we prepare quinoa, Abhi, when you put it in the dal, was it strained after that? Is it not sticky when you cooked it,
No,
pressure cooked it? It's not sticky at all.
no, not at all, not at all. I mean,
Okay.
you just put dal first, and if you are, I mean, if
No,
you
no,
have,
you
I'm
had
sorry.
pressure cooked it. You had pressure cooked it with double the quantity of water. So, and you had
Yes.
not strained it. So it was not sticky at all.
Yeah, it was not sticky, not at all.
Okay. And one whistle is enough.
Two should be good actually. Two should be good.
Okay.
After an hour of cooking.
Yeah, I got that. And is there something called polished quinoa and unpolished quinoa, like how it is there in millets?
I
Have
have
you heard
not
of it?
seen that, brother. I have not seen that. I have not seen quinoa. I've seen different kinds of quinoa, black, red, and white, but I have not seen the polished and unpolished variety of it. Although I
Okay,
believe that
so
unpolished is always better if it is there.
yeah. So you can use either of these three colored quinoa for your
Yeah, I
preparation.
mean, it depends upon, see, we are professionals, so we like to, हमारा जो दिखता है वही दिखता है. This is what we see. Okay. So, we
Okay.
need to show a lot of color. So if we find natural colors, coming out, we don't mind using it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
Kavita, you have a question?
No, I just wanted to add, like as ragi has a high glycemic index. So again, if when we are talking about diabetes, so again we would not like to use ragi, especially for a diabetic. So that I just
Oh,
want to add. Yes.
okay. This is an addition, yeah.
chef, I had a question since you said quinoa biryani, and
Yeah.
people really like to indulge in things like biryani. So in biryani, when you typically cook the rice, you cook it. You don't cook it by absorption method. You drain the
Yes.
water, and what do you do when you do quinoa biryani?
So while putting dum, we keep little water. Okay, and then we put all the masala and cook it further. Say if the cooking time is 20 minutes. Okay, so we cook quinoa in water for 15 minutes, and another for 5 minutes we cook it on dum. That's
Right,
it.
but that 15 minutes is open cooking or it's
No,
absorption time?
close cooking with dum. I mean, you seal the container, and then you of course you add mint, and you add onions, brown onions, you
Barista.
add saffron, you put all the masala, you put some hung yogurt as well. So you put everything and put all together, and then cook another 5 minutes so that the cooking is right. And also quinoa doesn't break off so easily. That's also an advantage. Just like how
Five
you have
minutes.
brown rice. Yeah, how you have brown rice and how you have wild rice.
Yeah.
It doesn't break off so easily. It sustains. So that is why it is good for people who are also using stir fry. Like we also do quinoa nasi goreng, if you guys know about it.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful Indonesian dish.
yeah.
Okay, where there also, it works so brilliantly, I can't tell you, because it retains, the texture is retained.
Chef,
Yeah,
what was
but
the proportion of dal and quinoa now?
So I took 1 cup of dal and I put 1 tablespoon of quinoa in that.
Raw.
More dal,
Great.
less quinoa.
So 1 tablespoon raw is like half a cup cooked.
15
Yes,
grams? Yeah, okay.
yes. Absolutely, it doubles of the size. Yes.
yeah, do the different colors of quinoa actually make a difference in the way they cook? Is one more fibrous than the other? Is it like that, or it's very similar?
It's very similar actually. It's very similar. You have to. I think it's just the color. That's it.
Okay.
And a taste profile, which one tastes better?
Oh, taste
Because
profile.
taste
I
is
like
different,
the.
right?
I know. I like red color, so I would say that's why.
Probably it's
Well,
rich in
I,
anthocyanins.
although
Yeah.
I use all three, in my a la carte menu that I do for in the restaurant, I use all three in my salad. So I do a beautiful quinoa salad, with some bit of prawn
That tastes
inside it,
amazing.
some dressing if you guys know about the Thai dressing. So I use a lot of Southeast Asian sauces. I think only the problem is the salt level is very high there. That's why I have not demonstrated it to all of you. And I believe that salt we have to minimize the salt.
Yes.
So that's exactly why I have not. But otherwise, I do a lot of this Southeast Asian dressing when I do salad. So it works very well with some bok choy, some prawn, egg. It makes a very nice wholesome salad. It's a beautiful lunch salad actually. It's very comforting for people who want to lose weight. Who are looking for healthy dining. So and then you see how many. I mean, people are really conscious about what they eat nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Any other questions, friends, to Chef?
Uh, yes, ma'am, I would also like to ask Chef Nishant, what about the taste? When we were talking about the taste, so our traditional khichdi versus the quinoa khichdi, like how's the acceptability? I mean to say, we are, we actually stuck traditionally with our original khichdi. So what is the acceptability?
No, I mean if you are just replacing basically, right? You are just replacing the grain. That's the only thing that you are doing. Rest everything, the tempering, the masalas, everything. Rather, it's more mellowing. I can see this becomes very mellow. Okay, if you get it in the right consistency. And people who don't like khichdi, believe me, when you make it, they'll say, "Give me more khichdi." By the way, otherwise it is only considered as thick meal in India. Uh,
Yeah.
but it is now something that I am proud to serve to my customers. I charge a lot of money for that.
Chef, have you tried bisibela bath with quinoa?
Yes, of course, very much. I
Okay.
was in Bangalore just before Dubai, so I happened to try. Beautiful. I love Bismillah.
Okay, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, you were into a lot of using organic ingredients. He has his own garden also, isn't it, Nishant, where you
Yeah,
used
I
to
mean,
pick up?
I call myself sustainable chef actually. I like to work with ingredients which are Indian. So now we have started growing quinoa in India. I have my own herb garden. I do a lot of herbs, spices, and I also ensure that people don't think that only chili makes the food spicy, but we have a lot of other spice which actually give so much flavor, so much aroma to our entire cooking method, entire terminology. But I love to use different ingredients and to create interesting meal is what I do. So yeah, this is wonderful.
Great.
Yeah, if we don't have any questions, friends? No. Thank you, Nishant. Thank you so
Okay.
much amidst your really busy schedule. You did a wonderful dish, and it was
Thank you.
very, very nice. And I think to top it all, it was a mix of a grain and at least a pseudo grain with the dal, which makes the protein kind of complete, more complete than using a dal separately or a grain separately. And thanks, friends, Meenakshi, Kavita, and Shilpa, for joining here. We really had a nice session, and let's thank Purvi for putting us all together into this Diabetes Bites. Thank you, and
Thank you.
let's meet up at RSSDI 50th year very soon, which is coming up, and looking forward to an exciting session from Chef
Thank you.
Nishant on that day.
Thank you. I think there I'll do more dishes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're
Thanks
looking
a lot.
forward.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. I learned a lot from all of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.